So the first question is, which is a very common question in the interview, is explain what is the business impact of your project, or how would you evaluate the success of the project, or some of the KPIs to measure it. No matter what kind of a state of the art technology you have used, how would you evaluate the success based on the business value? That is very important to understand or explain, how your project has helped in terms of business. So there are various ways you can mention to measure the success of your project. One could be whether your project was able to reduce the expenses or a cost cutting, or maybe it helped in some kind of a, getting new customer or a customer acquisition, or maybe reducing the attrition. The other way we can measure the success through, profit or a revenue is generating, or maybe optimizing some of the internal processes of the company, maybe reducing the time frame in generating some output. Now, some of the examples would be, for example, let's say cost cutting or reducing the expenses. You can mention that we have updated a new technology. So you can mention that new technology, what you have done. And you can say that, the business value is that our earlier or old project or old technology was costing like $1 million every year to maintain it, which was like a bottleneck. So now, after updating with a new technology or a new state of the art technology, or maybe let's say you have implemented some of the artificial intelligence or machine learning or some kind of a new architecture solutions, now you need only $560,000 to maintain it, and every year company is saving around $500,000. So in that way you can explain, how your project was brought, the business value for your team, for your organization. The other way you can mention, customer acquisition. You can say that, through my project, through some of the various state-of-the-art technologies we have used, like some analytics or machine learning or new architect solution or new databases, we have acquired 50,000 customers in the last 2 months, and this number is growing. Whereas we were able to retain or reduce attrition by 2%. So this is another business value you can mention for your project. The other thing you can mention that, if your project has, generating some profit or a revenue. So I can say that, with this project, our company is able to generate like, $300,000 revenue in the last 6 months, and it's growing at 135%. And our finance analyst team is expecting to break even in the next 10 months. So this is some of the other way you can, quantifying the success of your project. The fourth one could be, you have optimized some of the internal process. So you can say that, earlier technology or earlier report used to take like 8 hours to generate the business report, because of the huge volume of data, complex calculation, and a bunch of different operations. Now with this project, we were able to generate the report now in 2 hours. So we have reduced the time frame from 8 hours to 2 hours, and this enabling the business partner to get the reports quicker and help them to make the critical decisions faster. So these are some of the business value you can explain. And it's very important, whenever you explain your projects, it's utter important to include the business value of your project as well. I understand that technology is also very important. What is the technology you have used, but you have to mention the business value as well. What is the business value of your project, how it helps the company in getting some of the businesses. So the next, again, very common question, it comes in the interview, is any innovation project or other than the assigned projects from your manager. So they basically wanted to see how motivated are you like a order taker, or you're also into bringing new ideas on the table as well. So one of the things you can mention that few years back I was very charged up, very passionate about doing some new machine learning project. So what I did, I reached out to my project owners or the senior leadership, and she mentioned that she has some projects in her backlog, which is kind of very important, but just because of the bandwidth she's not getting the time. And that's where I decided, and I showed my interest that I'm ready to take up her one of the backlog project, let's say, which was like finance metric forecasting. So afterwards, I set up an introduction call with her. I know it's very important to brand myself in terms of what is my ability or the capability. So I told her that in my recent projects I have done a lot of end-to-end implementation. When I say end-to-end means getting the requirements, understanding the requirements, and then building the end-to-end data pipeline, or maybe some of the automation pipeline or machine learning pipeline, taking the requirement, bring the data, do the all kind of a data summarization, data aggregation, creating a data pipeline, then putting that data into machine learning, and then showcasing the business value and the strategies and so on. And I presented some of my recent projects to her, and she was very much impressed, and then she decided to pursue the project with me. And in the next meeting we discuss about the initial goals or the immediate goals which we need to achieve. And the first goal was we decided that to forecast some of the finance metrics, like let's say sales or revenue for some of their products for the next 12 months. So we worked on this project for almost like 6 to 7 months. From I was the first one who started, but then we eventually scaled up our team from 1 person to 5 person from different diverse skill set. And this project was really helpful for the sales and the marketing team, because of that they were able to forecast the different travel expenses, sales cost cutting, and bunch of different metrics which really help them to plan their timelines, plan their financial thing, and help them in making the rightly decisions or the timely actions or the insights what they actually wanted to see. So you can include some of your innovation project what you have done. Just make sure that you're ready with some project and you explain what you have done in that particular way. So another question comes up, have you ever faced any challenges in convincing the senior leadership with respect to your ideas or projects? And then again you can mention that I was working on one of the project, and its objective is to generate, let's say, ABC report to business partner. But the challenge or the problem was that this report is taking like more than 20 to 25 seconds to get refreshed. And in today's world, in modern world, nobody has the patience to wait for more than 2 to 3 seconds to see the actual metrics, actual results on their reports. And business was not liking this report, and that's where I decided to step in, and I researched a lot, how can we optimize this report from 25 seconds to make it 2 seconds. And then basically I found some solutions which has the potential to be much faster and can improve the performance of the report. So the next step what I did, I set up the meeting with my manager and the product owner, and I explained that we need to change our architecture from previous solution to a new one. But my manager was very hesitant, and there was a lot of pushback because we already spent like more than $1 million on the previous technology, and I was suggesting them to scrap the previous one and then start a new one. And that was not the confidence my manager was getting. So what I did, in order to convince them that this new technology can be very beneficial and can improve some of the challenges what we are facing, is to create some kind of a proof of concept. So what I did, I took like almost 3 weeks to build this new solution, and I tested with a different let's say transaction. First I tested with 5,000 transactions and how many seconds reports are taking, then 50,000, then 500,000, then 5 million, 500 million. And when I showed the solution, everybody got super impressed because now the reports can be refreshed within 1 second, 2 seconds, even with half a billion transactions. But again the same problem that people, the senior leadership was not getting that confidence to bring or to onboard a new technology which can again cost like more than $1 million. But then I was very then I again pushed back. Again I presented both the solutions together, and I explained that maybe this new solution needed like around $400,000, but there is a guarantee that this report will be available or refreshed within 1-2 seconds. else we will continuously wasting time and money on our previous solution, and eventually we will lose the contract and it will harm the reputation and the brand for the company. And this is how this is how I was able to convince them. And finally, when we deployed this new solution in the production, our reports were successfully able to refresh within 1 second, 2 seconds. But it never happened that report is taking more than 3 to 4 seconds. And that was a big win for me. It was a big confidence booster to me, how to convince a senior leadership when you see a vision which can be very beneficial for the company, for the team, and for the organization. So again, the next question is a very common question. What projects are you most proud of, and who are the stakeholders and the project partners? So my suggestion would be that always explain your recent project which is you are most proud of, and in that you structured your problem in that way. You first provide the objective of that project, what you have done in that project, and what is the business value of that project. So for example, I can say that in this, one of my favorite or the proudest project was I led and built the machine learning model to predict the attrition rate for future months for various products of ABC company, such as ABC, XYZ, for different portfolios. The output of this model used by the finance and the sales team for their marketing strategy. The motivation is of this project was to retain the customer, because getting a new customers are like 3 times to 5 times costlier. And with the help of this project, we were able to reduce the attrition rate by 2.2%. So in that way, you can structure your proudest project, where you explain the objective of the project, secondly what you did in that project, and what was the business value of that project.